Hey kiddos, I wanted to share with you a fun way to draw a cloud, make it look like a little cartoon character. I've got another video this week about Cloud Guy off of Trolls that you could do. So if you want Cloud Guy from Trolls, you need to find my other video. And this one is going to be a little cutesy cloud, okay? So white paper, something to draw with, grab some crayons so you can add some details. And don't forget, if I go too fast, you can always pause the video, catch up, and then push play again. All right, guys, so I'm going to draw with a crayon just so that you can see it on the video. You're probably going to want to draw with a pencil so you can erase to begin with, all right? Okay, guys, first thing, I'm going to have my paper horizontal, okay, like a landscape, so it's wide, and we have room to put a nice big cloud in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is give him a funny little curly Q at the top, or a spiral. That's one of our art words. We talk about line all the time in the art rooms. And a line could be horizontal or vertical, but in this case, it's a spiral. So it's like the back of a snail shell, where it starts small in the middle and it gets bigger and bigger as it goes around in a circle shape, and we call that a spiral. So at the top of his little head, because we're going to make this a person, the cloud becomes like a little character, we're going to add this little spiral, okay? So a spiral near the top of your paper. All right, from the sides, we're going to do it just like we've always drawn clouds ever since we were little bumpy hump shapes that go all the way around. So I'm going to go from that spiral, and I'm going to start to build in these little plump shapes. They're rounded and soft. Here we go. So you can see that horizontal paper makes a big difference when we make our cloud look nice and wide, kind of a big oval shape. All right, I'm going to do the same thing going down the sides so that it looks like more of an oval cloud shape here. All right, and it does not need to look just like this. That just gives you the outline for our little cloud friend. All right, now his eyes, we want it to look like a cartoon, so they're going to be really, really big. So we want two big circles, and I'm going to have them kind of separated out further on his head. So I'm going to draw a nice big circle, and I'm going to try and draw the same size circle on the other side. So two big circle eyes. You can keep them kind of far apart. Alrighty. His little nose is just going to be, actually we're going to skip the nose. We're going to do a smile, and it's just going to be a simple little smile line. And I'm going to make it smaller so his eyes are really important. That means that we're creating emphasis on the eyes. They are more important than the mouth. See how small that is? Okay, so when you exaggerate or make one feature larger, it takes up more of our focus. So we pay more attention to that. Under his eyes, we're going to give you some little cheeks. See how when I smile, my cheeks stick out? Okay, just like our little cloud, he's going to have little humps here for his cheeks. So I'm going to draw more like little ovals. And then we can color those in pink or kind of a little rosy color. We're going to do two ovals, and it'll look silly at first. See? There we go. All right, on his eyes, we want it to have the little glisten, right? When the eye is shiny and wet. And we always see a little highlight of light. So in my dining room, I have a light above me, there's light behind me, and there's windows over there. So in your eye, you're going to see a reflection. Let's see if I get close. You see how it looks glistening? I don't actually have little white dots in my eyes. Those little dots are from the sunlight or from the light in my room hitting my eyes. So we're going to add that to our little cloud guy as well. So I'm going to add a bigger circle at the top on each eye so it looks like it's in the same place. Okay, so I added this one. There you go. And then at the bottom below that, I'm going to add a smaller circle. And that'll give him some little glistening highlights into his eyes. So you can see this one and then the bigger one. All right, you guys, I'm going to grab my crayons or a marker, and I'm going to color these little guys in. So I'm going to color in the entire eye with black, except for those little highlights, those little white dots that we just made. So I'm going to outline that, and we're going to go ahead and color in everything except for those highlight shapes. We had a big circle and a little circle, and we're just going to skip those. All right, my marker is running out of ink, so it's not coloring as well as I was hoping. All right, guys, so I'll show you one eye. See how much that pops? All right, I'm gonna pause it. I'll color the other one and be right back. All right, so I've got both of the eyes colored in. I'm gonna go with my marker now and outline all of the lines that we already did. And this just helps to make it look more like a cartoon because obviously it's not a realistic drawing. So I'm gonna go around all of my lines. If you don't have a marker, that's okay, just use a different colored crayon. You can do it with a black or maybe a dark purple or a dark blue crayon to really make those lines pop. And then we can add some more detail in with other colors to make part of the cloud look softer. So these lines just give us our outline and our boundaries. And I'm outlining them with a very dry permanent marker. It's running out of ink as I trace right now. But you'll be able to see it better. And you'll see when we get this little guy finished up that having this darker outline, like you could do with crayon too, it really helps to make the other details fade away because this is the darkest part. All right, guys, so you can see my marker is getting dry, but you can definitely see our little cloud. All right, so next up, he's got rosy little cheeks. So grab a pink or a soft red color, and we're gonna go ahead and fill those in nice and soft pink. If you have markers or colored pencils, it doesn't matter what you color with, just grab some art supplies that you have. All right, so easy peasy. Now he's got his little cute cheeks. I'm gonna take a light blue, and you know what, I'll do a darker blue so that the camera can pick it up easier. And there's two different ways you could do your shading on here in the classroom, and I gave you guys a little cheat sheet on my webpage you can download, and it says, I think I wrote Cloud Week printable, but it's got Cloud Guy from Trolls if you need this to copy off of, and I've got our little how to draw this guy, and at the one step I wrote optional, and that's because you can do your shading differently. So you can shade with little dots, that's called stippling, or you could shade just using your crayon. So on my little guy, I'll show you with those little dots, and the idea is that it just gives you the illusion of a little bit of shading, and all you have to do is make little dots. And that's also pointillism when it's painting. So you can see those little dots. Okay. If you weren't going to do the dots, you can just do it with your crayon and just color lightly to give it a little bit of shading. But on my printable, you can find this on the webpage, and it shows an optional step, the one little part, and it's all the little dots just to make some of his shapes stick out a little bit more. So crayon works really good because you can hit the bottom, the point, and it doesn't hurt your crayon. If you're using a marker, you need to be more careful. The ink comes out really easily, but you could damage the tip of your marker. So be careful with your markers. But here you go. You can already see some of those changes. See that simple little shading? All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit more with my dots on my crayon, and I'll be right back so you guys can catch up. All right, guys, so I've got my dots for the start of shading. Now I'm gonna take my same crayon. I'm gonna show you the shading if you're just using your crayon to add color. So I'm going to go real gently, and I'm just going to go right at the same places that I added the stippling marks or the pointillism. And I'll add in just a little bit of color with this blue, and it's just to give us the illusion that something flat on paper actually looks a little bit more fluffy or dimensional. So this will just help it to become a little bit more fluffy like the cloud and not so flat. So I'll give you guys a couple ideas here, and you could do it however you want it. You can see just that little bit of blue helps to make the other parts pop out. It looks more like it has form. The last thing I would do is add a darker outline around the outside edge. So I'm going to take my blue crayon and just go outside that marker line and really let him pop. So you can see already just that one edge. See how that really makes the inside look softer and fluffier. So I'm going to go around that real quick. That's our last step, and I'll show him off to you one more time. All right, kiddos, so I've got my little cloud all finished up. All right, so you can see just crayons, paper, and your own imagination. We took something as simple as a cloud out in the sky and gave it a personality just by adding some details. All right, I can't wait to see what you're making. Have a great summer. I'm going to miss you guys. Bye.